You stare at your phone in the dark, the screen's glow washing over your face, and you realize you've read the message 3 times, but never replied. There's a heaviness in your chest, a tiny, quiet panic that whispers, "Why do I feel wrong for nothing at all?" You can't place it. Something is off. But what? It's not anger, not sadness, not even disappointment. It's subtle, almost invisible. And yet, somehow it burrows under your skin, shaping your thoughts, your mood, your very decisions. There's a hidden force at play, but it's so quiet that even the sharpest, most analytical minds can miss it entirely. You've likely spent hours dissecting conversations in your head. Late nights where the world is asleep, but your mind is relentless, replaying every word, every pause, every glance. And still, the question lingers, why do I feel manipulated, even when nothing was obvious? It's an invisible tug at your emotions, a whisper disguised as concern, a subtle twist of words, a small seed of doubt planted in silence. And intelligent people, people who notice patterns, who analyze, who think deeply, often fall into it first, because they overthink, because they trust logic over instinct. And yet, the emotional currents beneath logic remain unseen. Have you ever noticed how sometimes a simple request can leave you feeling drained? How a compliment can feel like an accusation? How a conversation that should have been simple leaves you questioning your own reality? That's the mystery. That's the psychological sleight of hand that doesn't announce itself. It often starts in tiny ways. The unread messages that sit like invisible weights in your inbox, the sudden coldness after a seemingly meaningless argument, or that lingering question in the back of your mind after a friend, partner, or colleague speaks. Did I say the wrong thing? Did I do something to deserve this? And here's where it twists deeper. People who overthink, who are emotionally sensitive, who live inside their own minds, your own intelligence can become a trap. Your ability to analyze, to reflect, to notice patterns, it can actually make you slower to see when someone is bending your emotions without ever raising their voice. It's almost like someone handed you a map but hid the key symbols. You can see the roads, the bridges, the intersections, but the traps, the hidden turns, the tiny misdirections, they remain invisible. Think about those quiet mornings. You sit at the kitchen table, coffee in hand, replaying yesterday's conversation. That laugh that seemed a little off, that "just kidding," that didn't land like it should. You feel a tightening in your chest, but when you try to name it, nothing fits. It's a mystery, wrapped in everyday moments. It's not just about overt lies or deception. Emotional manipulation can be softer, almost affectionate. A gentle nudge here, a subtle withdrawal there, a glance that shifts your self-doubt into overdrive, and you thinking, analyzing, replaying, sometimes even rationalizing it. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Remember in the previous video on fear of rejection controlling adult decisions and relationships, the same patterns show up here. You see, fear isn't always loud. It hides behind polite words, smiles, and logical reasoning. And just like fear of rejection, this quiet manipulation slips under the radar. You don't notice it at first, because your mind is busy looking elsewhere, at the logical explanation, at the why, that makes sense. And then there's the silence. The pauses that stretch longer than they should. The rooms that suddenly feel heavier. You find yourself scrolling endlessly through your phone, avoiding eye contact, avoiding confrontation, trying to make sense of something that refuses to name itself. And in that silence, the manipulation grows, feeding on your reflection, your doubt, your careful thinking. Here's a strange thing: intelligent people often feel manipulation more intensely, but see it less clearly, because they are trained to search for evidence, for clarity, for proof. And emotional manipulation thrives in the gaps between proof and perception. It lives in nuance, in implication, in the spaces your mind can't quite pin down. Ask yourself, have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling unsettled, but couldn't explain why? Have you ever second-guessed your own feelings, thinking they were too much, or overthinking it only to realize later that your instincts were right all along? It's not obvious. It doesn't scream. It doesn't call attention to itself. That's what makes it so effective. And that's why so many of us, especially those who live in our own thoughts, can be caught in its web without realizing it. You might even notice it in patterns that repeat across different relationships. A friend who always subtly shifts the blame. A partner who confuses care with control. or a colleague whose words leave a residue of self-doubt long after the meeting ends. And each time, your mind goes over it, dissects it, analyzes. But the emotional current remains. The curious part, you may catch glimpses of it here and there, like shadows at the edge of your vision, but the full shape stays just out of reach. And the more you look for it, the more elusive it seems. Think about those moments alone in your room, the mirror reflecting your tired eyes, the glowing phone screen in the dark, the quiet whisper in your head, was that really okay? Did I overreact? These are the micro locations where manipulation thrives. Not in grand gestures, not in obvious confrontations, but in the stillness, in the reflection, in the mind that cares too much, thinks too deeply, and feels too strongly. Sometimes, the biggest revelation is that awareness itself isn't enough. Seeing the pattern doesn't always free you from it, because emotional manipulation doesn't just affect what you think. It moves the very foundation of how you feel. And that is a hard truth, even for the brightest minds. So, what does this leave us with? Late nights, unread messages, the pull of doubt, the echo of conversations, the unexplained tightening in your chest. It leaves you asking questions your mind can't fully answer. Why do I keep feeling this? Why does it persist even when I know better? And maybe the answer isn't fully visible. Maybe for now. It's enough to notice the sensation, to watch it quietly, to trace the edges of it without needing to catch it completely. Because some forces are designed to linger in the shadows, quietly shaping thoughts, subtly redirecting emotions, hiding in plain sight. And perhaps that is the final mystery. The cleverest manipulations are the ones that leave no trace, no accusation, no proof. Only the echo of doubt inside a mind that trusts logic and still can't quite explain why it feels wrong. You notice it in the way someone looks at you. Just for a fraction of a second, a flicker in the eyes that doesn't quite match the words leaving their lips. The compliment that lands a little too carefully. The silence after a question, long enough to make your chest tighten, but short enough that you can't pinpoint why it unsettles you. It's quiet, almost imperceptible, and yet it carries weight, heavier than any argument, any shouted accusation. In those tiny, almost invisible spaces, something begins to shift. Your mood subtly changes. Your thoughts start circling, your body tightens in a way you can't fully explain. You might be sitting across from someone at a cafe, your hands wrapped around a warm mug, and you feel it before you understand it. A pause too long after you speak, a tilt of the head that seems curious but carries an unspoken question. And in that micro moment, your brain starts overanalyzing. You begin to ask yourself, did I say the wrong thing? Was that awkward? Am I imagining it? The words they said were neutral, even kind. But the silence, the small delay, the subtle expression, it plants a seed. And seeds, even the smallest ones, grow faster in minds that are wired to notice patterns, to feel deeply, to think too much. It's easy to see overt manipulation. You see it in shouting, in clear lies, in demands. But subtle manipulation is an art of invisibility. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. It works in the cracks of human perception, in moments that feel normal, mundane, everyday. A pause in a conversation, a fleeting frown, a smirk that lasts a heartbeat longer than it should. All of these are tiny hooks. And if you are someone who lives inside your own thoughts, who dissects interactions for meaning, who reads people carefully, these hooks can sink in without warning. You might recall moments where a conversation ended, and later, you were replaying it in your mind for hours, maybe even days. There was nothing overtly wrong. No one said anything cruel. But still, the memory carries a strange heaviness, like a room where the temperature subtly drops without explanation. You find yourself questioning what was said, how it was said, why you reacted at all. And the truth is, these tiny silences, these micro-expressions, can carry emotional weight far beyond their size, because they touch the parts of you that are sensitive, the parts of you that are constantly scanning for connection, for meaning, for safety. The way subtle manipulation works is almost like a whisper in a crowded room. Everyone else might hear the words and move on, but you, listening closely, picking up the nuance, catching the inflection, feel it differently. You feel it in your chest, in the quiet tightening of your stomach, in the lingering thought that maybe you didn't meet an invisible expectation. And because these manipulations are so soft, so quiet, your mind tries to rationalize them. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Maybe it wasn't intentional. But the emotional effect remains. It's the silence that speaks, the pause that weighs, the expression that subtly shifts the balance of power without ever being named. Even familiar environments don't protect you from it. You might be at home, sitting on your couch, scrolling through your phone, and remembering a friend's reaction to a message you sent. There was no outright criticism, no argument, no visible anger. Just a delay in response, a careful choice of words, a fleeting tone that didn't match the conversation's content. And yet, for you, it's as if the entire interaction replayed itself in slow motion. You can almost feel the unspoken tension vibrating in the air, echoing inside your thoughts, reminding you that influence doesn't always need volume. Sometimes, it only needs subtlety. And it's in those quiet, almost invisible moments that intelligent people are most vulnerable. Because they are trained to seek clarity, to rely on evidence, to understand cause and effect. But subtle manipulation doesn't leave evidence. It lives in what is not said, in the fractions of seconds, in the fleeting expressions that pass before the conscious mind can fully register them. The more your mind searches for logical reasoning, the more the manipulative silence works in the shadows, undetected yet undeniably present. You might find yourself wondering, did they mean it that way? Or am I imagining tension where none exists? And the act of questioning itself is part of the manipulation. Your attention, your reflection, your careful analysis becomes the ground where doubt grows. The silence doesn't need to speak, it only needs to exist. And the overthinking, the self-questioning, the replaying of tiny details, these are the silent accomplices that ensure the manipulation finds its mark. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic confrontations. It's about the invisible architecture of interaction, the hidden choreography of human behavior. One raised eyebrow, one slightly delayed response, one small hesitation. All of these can shift the emotional equilibrium. And because it's subtle, because it blends seamlessly into the everyday flow of life, even the most observant, the most intelligent, the most emotionally aware can fail to notice until the weight of it accumulates, until the quiet pressure bends their perception, until the unseen influence becomes undeniable, not in evidence but in feeling. You've felt it before, that uneasy tug at the edge of your awareness, the part of your mind that whispers, something isn't right here. Even when your reasoning tells you otherwise, it's confusing because everything on the surface appears logical. The words line up, the actions make sense, the explanation seems perfectly reasonable. And yet your gut tightens, your chest feels heavier, and your thoughts begin to circle in quiet agitation. That tension between what you think and what you feel, that invisible gap, is precisely where emotional manipulation thrives. It's almost invisible at first. You might be having a normal conversation with someone you trust. They present a scenario, a question or a suggestion, and you nod along because it seems rational. Logically, there's no reason to question it. The argument is coherent, the reasoning sound. But then you notice the subtle dissonance, a hesitation in their tone, a faint edge behind a smile, a nuance in phrasing that leaves you uneasy. Your instinct registers a warning that logic cannot yet quantify, and a quiet internal struggle begins. Think of the last time you debated with yourself over a simple interaction. Maybe a friend said something, and your mind immediately tried to analyze it. Did I overreact? Was that unfair? Did I misinterpret their tone? Logically, everything seems defensible. There's no evidence of malice. But your instinct, that gut feeling that often guides you in ways you can't articulate, registers something subtle, an emotional undercurrent that your rational mind struggles to decode. That gap between your reasoning and your instinct is where manipulation begins to take root. People who manipulate in this way understand that logic is a shield for the intelligent mind. They craft their words and actions so that nothing can be pinned on them directly. There's no clear evidence, no accusation, no contradiction. Instead, they operate in the shadows of human perception, leveraging your instinct against your intellect. They rely on the fact that when reason finds no fault, your mind will default to questioning your own emotions rather than their intent. You find yourself thinking, I must be imagining it. I must be overreacting, even as a subtle unease grows in your chest. This dissonance is exhausting, because your mind is designed to seek harmony between thought and feeling. When they are in alignment, you feel steady. When logic and instinct diverge, the result is disorientation. You replay the interaction again and again, searching for a rational explanation that satisfies your emotional unease, and each pass leaves you slightly more unsettled. It's a slow erosion of certainty, not through confrontation, but through suggestion, implication, and subtle influence. It often happens in moments you wouldn't expect. A colleague's compliment that carries a faint judgment. A partner's reassurance that feels oddly conditional. A friend's question that seems innocent but leaves you doubting yourself for hours afterward. Your logical mind reads everything as neutral or even positive, yet instinct whispers, something is off. And in that whisper, manipulation finds a foothold. This is especially potent for those who spend a lot of time in their own thoughts. Overthinkers, dreamers, highly analytical people. They are acutely aware of patterns, implications, and reasoning. But when emotional manipulation is applied with subtlety, it bypasses logic entirely, landing directly in the spaces between thought and feeling. The result is a quiet frustration, a feeling of disorientation, a creeping doubt that can follow you long after the interaction ends. The moments are often mundane. Sitting alone in your room at night, replaying a conversation that seemed fine at the time. Your mind parses the words, dissects the sentences, searches for meaning. Logically, there's nothing to interpret. But your body remembers. The tightening of your chest, the restless tension in your hands, the flicker of discomfort in your gut. That memory is proof enough that manipulation occurred, even if your intellect cannot fully label it. And there's a strange, almost insidious beauty in it. Manipulation that exploits the space between logic and instinct doesn't need confrontation. It doesn't rely on dramatic gestures or overt coercion. It works quietly, slowly. In the microseconds of hesitation, the almost imperceptible facial expression, the subtle inflection in a tone of voice. It's a sculptor, molding perception and emotion without ever showing the chisel, leaving the target unsure whether the effect was real or imagined. You might even notice the pattern creeping into multiple areas of your life. Conversations that end with lingering uncertainty. Relationships where you constantly question your own reactions. Moments when you trust your intellect and yet can't silence the instinctual unease. And the more intelligent and reflective you are, the more skilled your mind is at rationalizing what your body feels, allowing manipulation to operate in plain sight, unchallenged, almost invisible. It's fascinating, almost paradoxical. Emotional manipulation doesn't always need deception or force. It thrives in ambiguity, in the spaces your mind cannot fully reconcile, in the gaps between what seems logical and what feels true. And the cleverest manipulators know this instinctive divide better than anyone, placing subtle nudges, carefully crafted suggestions, and faint emotional signals right where they will bypass reason entirely, leaving your mind and your gut in quiet, unresolved tension.